Professor John Hefner is a mainstay at the Creation Evidence Museum. Every year we hold a public excavation. That's the first week of July, the hottest week of the year. But there are reasons for that. And each evening in the air-conditioned building here, he gives a lecture during that week. He's one of our very finest creation scholars. And that is no exaggeration at all. I've asked him to come give a few words of testimony about something he knows firsthand. How many years have you been excavating with us?
Since 89.
Since 1989? 30 years. 30 solid years. Before being exposed to this evidence, he believed and taught evolution because he was taught evolution as fact, right?
I never did teach it. I had questions about it, and my faith was not very strong because of it until I got it all sorted out, figured out which side was right.
That's good. That's very, very good. Now, he understands the value of the human dinosaur footprint scenario and controversy. He's actually excavated many of the dinosaur footprints and some of the human footprints, at least some candidates. During these years, we've been negotiating with the McFall family. They're our friends. We've been negotiating with them extensively over decades. Just months ago, we signed a lease, July of this year. We signed a 30-year lease. We now have unrestricted privilege of excavating where the dinosaur footprints are and where the human footprints are. It is an awesome, awesome victory. Now, before introducing John, I want to mention that part of the responsibility that we had to assume, and we gladly did so, part of the responsibility was that we are to stabilize both houses. One of our engineers, the lead engineer on the biosphere, NASA engineer Mike Herlacher, and his wife will move into the rock home. We have to stabilize it. The old family home has not been lived on for 30 years, but we have to clean up and stabilize that. And it takes a lot of manpower to do that. We've had 3 work days so far. We're going to have another work day 1 week from today. And let me tell you, that will be a religious preoccupation. So if you want a spiritual enterprise 1 week from today, it will be, first of all, everything will be in the name of the Lord Jesus. Secondly, the entire purpose will be for His glory, for us to meet our obligations in order to have the privilege of excavating for the next 30 years on that property. I'm going to ask John Hefner to explain how important that property is. I'd like for Professor John Hefner to come and, in his own words, tell us how significant he thinks the excavations on the McFall property are. And getting that land.
Yeah, really. Well, thank you, Dr. Ball, for your kind remarks. I didn't know I'd be doing this. In the past few years, we really have been pretty much reworking what's been found before, in honesty, because of the restrictions of the geography out there. And the landowners have been understandably nervous, maybe from time to time, about us going too far one way or the other. And so we have real strict guidelines of where we can set foot and all that kind of thing. Well, with this 30-year lease, that has been changed. And so that was a fabulous thing to get that. But at the dig week this past year, in July, it had already been signed when we had dig week, or not quite?
It was signed during that week.
It was signed during the week, okay. We knew immediately that we were going to have a specialized piece of equipment that retails for about $125,000 to do the specific excavation on that geography. It's not a very wide ledge for a huge track hoe or something like that. And oddly enough, really among Christian circles is not so odd, God sent a family that week. And they were here. We just rubbed shoulders with them. They were, we didn't know them very well. They're from many states away, in fact. And the last day of the dig, Dr. Ball was talking about we need to acquire the money for this piece of equipment. And the retailer was willing to sell it to the museum for wholesale, but even the wholesale price was $80,000, I believe. Yes. And so that family was in the audience, and a few minutes later they handed him a check for $80,000. So, well, here's what that's going to enable us to do. I don't know how many of you have been out there on the ledges. It's not likely very many of you have, because it's only really open to the public 1 week of the year. That's the dig week. But we see these left, right tracks, and they go right into to a bank. And we know there's another one there because of the pattern of the feet, but we just can't dig there yet. But now with this lease, we can go on in there, and who knows what God's going to reveal there. So currently, I saw it for the first time yesterday, what the new machine has done. They've cleared all the brush away off of the top, and then there's essentially a cliff that now is about 6 or 8 feet in. And so that's a lot of heavy limestone to be working on. So probably we'll keep eating our way in some fashion that he'll come up with. But it's a miracle, and glad to be a little part of it. We serve an amazing God, don't we? And when you come here, this is a life-changing place. And people that are honest with themselves, and they see this information, they're at a crossroads. This is either the real deal or it's not. And I'm telling you, it's the real deal. Been hands-on and done it for 30 years. So thank you, Dr. Ball. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so very, very much.